Welcome back to Journey with Andy Part 4. If you haven't seen the previous 3 videos, please check the description below for a link to those videos. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next video. Okay, let's get into Part 4. We pick up with my aunt being admitted to rehab, and Paul's surgery went well to remove the mass in his colon. So Paul's surgery went well to remove the mass in his colon, but later that night he started having trouble breathing and ended up on the ventilator. My aunt is at the rehab facility, but she has to quarantine for 14 days, so she can't do outside visits yet, so we have to do what they call window visits. And we're supposed to like call ahead, and then they would go to the patient's room and open the window blind, so that, you know, we could have a visit, and it was supposed to be for a certain time limit and for a certain time of the day. But I don't think the rehab facility understood what they were getting into when it came to my family. Now, we tried to do right in the beginning. We were calling, and it was just taking too long for them to respond. And you know, we would be there to visit with her, and it would take them forever to come open the window, or, you know, to get somebody on the phone. So, you know, we were visiting all outside visiting hours, and she would open up her own blinds. You know, when we came to visit, we would just call her and let her know. We had church members going by to visit on Sunday afternoons. My uncle and my cousin, they set up lawn chairs on the people's property, and a lot of times they weren't even at the window. They just, you know, wanted to be near her. So they had lawn chairs out there. They were just chilling, just relaxing, just, you know, just being in the vicinity where she was. It would be raining, and we're still trying to get our window visits in. The grounds that they had like held water, and we walking all through water, just time to, you know, just trying to visit with her. And then we couldn't hear each other well through the window, so we would call each other on the phone just for us to talk to each other through the window. It was crazy, but we were determined, you know, to visit with her, to keep her encouraged. I know the people probably thought something is wrong with that family. They are crazy, but they did not bother us. They allowed us to visit. They never said anything to us. But we really were determined to, you know, go see her as often as possible to keep her encouraged. Okay, so now back to Paul. I tried to visit with him as much as possible because, you know, I worked at the hospital, so I was able to get in when no other visitors were allowed. And I tried to visit him as often as I could between work, school, window visits with my aunt, just to, you know, let him know that we were there, we were praying for him, even if, you know, we couldn't be there physically all the time, or, you know, my other family members couldn't come in to see him, that, you know, we all serve the same God, and he can go where we can't go. So through him, you know, just letting him know that, you know, we were there. And then when I could physically visit, letting him hear my voice to know, you know, so that he could hear a familiar voice. So that just kind of, you know, went on for a few days, me trying to visit with him, doing window visits with my aunt. And that kind of culminated to the point where I had my breakdown one night when I was at work. So the day I break down at work, it stemmed simply from my coworker basically asking me how I was doing. She was already like aware of most of everything that was going on, because she had been keeping up, and asked me how everybody was doing. And we got to chatting, and we ended up talking about, you know, nursing homes and rehab facilities. And she was explaining, you know, how it was when she had a family member in there. And I guess it all started like a few days before that, when I was having a window visit with my aunt. And she had just come back from rehab, and she was in her chair, and we were talking, and she was like in a lot of pain, and I could see it on her face clearly, like she was in so much pain, and she just wanted to lay down and go to bed. And, you know, I asked, well, have you called them? She's like, yeah, I called them, but, you know, they haven't came yet. So I've been waiting on them to call, but I already called them. They said they were coming, but nobody's come yet. So that kind of I don't know that I've ever felt so helpless before, because like my aunt is sitting right there. We're only separated by a window and I can't get to her. So my thing is, it's like I like to be a part of the solution. So if there's a problem, even if I can't fix the whole problem, I like to be doing something to help contribute to solving a problem. So the fact that I couldn't get to her, it kind of like really rubbed me the wrong way. We were already ready for her to come home because, of course we felt like we could take better care of her, but she needed the physical therapy, and nobody's going to take care of family like you will yourself. So I mean, we were just ready for her to come home. So my idea of helping at that time was to call the nursing station and be like, hey, my aunt says she pressed the light and nobody's come, and she's ready to go to bed, she's in pain, somebody needs to go assist her. And later that night when I talked to my aunt, she said they still didn't come for another 30-45 minutes, and that just really rubbed me the wrong way. And I just felt so helpless because I'm like, she's right there and I can't get to her. So when my co-worker started talking about the nursing home rehab facility situation, and I mentioned about not being able to get to my aunt, and then at that moment I just broke down and started crying. And I'm like, not an overly emotional person, especially not at work, but that, I don't know, I guess that was just like me totally overwhelmed, because I started crying and I couldn't stop, and I just had to walk away to kind of like get myself together. And once I finally got myself together, I was able to go back, because she was at the nursing desk, and I was like, I can't talk about it right now. And she's like, I understand, and I appreciate her. If she's watching this video, she knows who she is. I appreciate her being a good coworker and a friend for me in that moment, in that time, and just period. She's a good friend, a good coworker, and I appreciate that. So that conversation triggered something in me that I didn't even realize was like, bothering me, but apparently it was weighing heavy on my mind, and I was just emotionally wrung out at that time, and I guess I just needed a good cry, because after that I haven't felt so overwhelmed. I've been fine, I haven't felt overwhelmed at all since then, and even with everything I have going on now, things can be a little bit more taxing now with the home situation, but yeah, I feel fine. I'm handling it well. I know a lot of my family members are always kind of worried about me overdoing it, and but I don't know, I guess I needed that cry, because since then I've been fine. I haven't been too overwhelmed with things, and I guess I'm trying to be like more aware of that as well, because like I said, I didn't even realize that was a trigger, but apparently it was for me. Okay, so the days are passing and Paul is slowly improving, and my aunt is at a point where I feel like I can finally tell her everything that's going on. And so me and her are on FaceTime like we always are, because we were on FaceTime with her. I've never used FaceTime so much before, but now I use it on a regular basis. But it started with her being in rehab. We would FaceTime like multiple times a day, every day, between me, her, my cousins, we were always FaceTiming her, always, between that and the window visit. So it was like we were always trying to see her at some point. But I told her, I need to tell you everything that's going on with Paul, and I say this a lot, but I feel like you need to know. So I proceed to tell her everything that's going on with Paul, and everything that's transpired, filling in the gaps of what she knew, telling her about the mass and the cancer and him on the ventilator, and everything that's going on with him. And then also telling her some additional stuff that was going on with my uncle, her husband, that she didn't know about. So after I told her everything, I kind of felt bad because I felt like I was dropping a bomb on her, but I knew, it was time and she had to know, so I just had to tell her. So I was like, are you okay? what are you thinking? You all right? And she's kind of like, yeah, I'm processing. It's a lot, but I'm processing. So after I told her, like I said, I did kind of feel bad because it was a lot. It was like dropping a bomb on somebody, but I felt like a weight had been lifted off me, and yeah, I just felt so much better being able to tell her everything that was going on, and from then on being able to keep her up to date with everything that was going on with Paul. So stay tuned for the next video where Paul is taken off a ventilator. My aunt is discharged from rehab to home, and I moved in with her for a couple weeks to help her out at home, and just journey with me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to journey with me, and thanks for watching.